Good morning, everybody. Yay, you are on the Inside Show with none other than Talk with Joan Thursdays. I don't know, but the sound is a little bit, it sounds like very empty type of thing. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful summer's day. We're not in summer yet, it's spring still. But that is where we're at. So I hope you had a beautiful and a wonderful week thus far. Today's Thursday. And I know tomorrow, the schools are closing tomorrow, right? And all the children will be at home with mommies. So you're gonna have to find some way to keep those children busy, right? So anyway, today we are actually discussing something that is another topic that is very close to my heart, and that is marriage and how to keep the flame burning in the marriage, so keeping the flame is as having the flame is something, but keeping that flame is another story, right? So there are certain things that happens, what you have to do to keep the flame burning in marriage. So today we're going to talk on that. So I don't know if you have your mirror out, and while you're getting your mirror out, I'm just going to let my co-host and my guest, I have my daughter here as a guest. She's married for 8 years. This is 8 years. Pastor Lee-Ann, you 13. Are 13 years. And 37 years. So it's different years of marriage. So we're just going to talk a little bit, and I want you to really participate as normally you'd participate. I know our regular guests always participate with us and hit those comments. You know what? Subscribe to the channel so that you can know what is happening on the Inside Show. There are very interesting topics that everybody shares on this platform. So if you haven't subscribed as yet, please do it right now by hitting that bell. And you will get everything that is happening on the Inside Show. So I'm going to let my guest and co-host introduce themselves. Get out your mirror, guys.
Hey, it's Thursday, and we're on Talk with Joan. I'm so happy to have you here, Evangelique. This will be the first time we have a live show together.
Yeah.
So it is going to be cool, and it's going to be exciting. I'm so pumped up. This is definitely Joan's forte and not mine. She's definitely got the lessons for us at 37 years of marriage. That's something, eh? But join us and stay tuned and help us chat about this very interesting topic.
All right. Over to Evangelique.
Okay, just introduce myself.
Yes.
Hi, I am Evangelique. If you are subscribed to Insights, you will know that my show is on a Friday with the Gab Fest.
Yes.
And surprisingly, we're also chatting about marriage tomorrow.
Wow.
We're on the series Love, Marriage, Divorce. So last week we did the whole marriage before... Love before marriage, the dating scene, and then tomorrow we are doing the marriage. So it's exciting that it's like an intro.
Oh, nice.
Into tomorrow, being on the show today. Thank you for having me with my under 10 years experience. So, we look forward to hearing how we can get to 37 years. Because it's difficult.
You know what, guys? Before we go into the topic, get your mirror out. I want to know from you, what is your love language? And how do you actually know yourself having that love language, if I may put it that way?
Okay. It's always easy when you don't get it, then you know.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't get a gift and your love language gifts.
Yeah, then you know.
Yeah, hot duck big staple for you. So in my mirror, good morning, Lee-Ann. How are you? Yes, you're fine. My love language is quality time, and I know that this is my love language because when I get all my QT, Evangelique, then I purr like a cat. You know, like they say, a cat who had cream. Yes, that sounds like me. And if I don't get quality time, then I think as sweet as the cat was, the dragon would be there.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah, quality time. Or it's not really a dragon. It's just, I guess you feel like there's something missing and you feel like there's a lack. And I think quality time definitely fills up my tank. So, quality
Wonderful.
time is me.
I like it.
I'll jump in also saying that for me, my love language. Oh, am I supposed to look in my mirror? Hi, Evangelique. My quality time, I know my love language is also quality time. Let me say
Hey.
that. Hi. Mine is also quality time. I know that because if I don't get the quality time, I feel like I did something wrong.
Yeah.
Or I'm not receiving the love I thought I deserve, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, quality time is the one. I can get gifts. I love gifts.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect me the
As
way
much,
quality
yeah.
time does. Yeah.
I think a lot of women loves the quality time, right? I think because life's so busy
Yeah.
and you don't get to spend that time together, and there's always things that is in the you know, in
you
the
don't want to
way.
be at the bottom of anybody's list.
Yeah. And that happens, eh? That happens, yeah. I think my love language is gifts. I love gifts. I
Yeah.
really love gifts. I must be honest with you. I just love it.
Yeah, my mom was the same. I know
love
your
gifts.
type.
Yeah, no, that's me, right? So I don't know about you guys. What is your love language? And how would you say you know that it is your love language? I just know that it's my love language in gifts due to the fact that I just feel so special
Yeah, getting the gifts.
getting the gifts, and I just have something for the people that gives me the gifts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Sam, do you share your love language in receiving, in giving? Do you give
Yeah.
the same way you receive your love?
I do, but I've been working on it in terms of my love language might not be my partner's love language.
Yeah.
So with my love language being quality time, I know for a fact my husband's love language is more service.
Okay.
So like if you
Aren't all men?
so if you don't bring the food, you
Yeah.
know, I have to dish
Yes,
up. I have
yes,
to
acts of service.
Acts of service. And for me, sometimes it's a bit because for me, I don't care. Okay, I would love a cup of coffee every now and then.
Yeah.
But for me, if you do that, it doesn't touch me
Yeah, you
that
can hook
way. So
yourself
I have
up,
to learn
yeah.
a lot in terms of what my language is not your love language. So for me to love you, I need to do the acts of service.
Yeah.
But then also understand for you to love me,
Yeah.
then spend
Yes,
the
true.
quality time.
That's true.
Because I feel like it's easy for women to adapt to their partner's love language, as where your partner thinks they should love you the way what they expect, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
You think that we're more adaptable to
Yeah,
them?
we are more
Okay.
adaptable to them.
It is kind of an instruction. We're supposed to prefer them and submit to them.
But you know, it's very interesting because sometimes you want to give the same thing that
Yes.
you have.
Because you figure if it makes me happy, it should make everybody happy.
Yeah, which is so wrong.
Yeah.
Because that person don't think anything about a bunch of flowers.
Yes, that is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Imagine
That's
I
a
must,
striking
give my
snake cord.
husband, I must give my husband
Flowers.
flowers
You'll be
every
like,
now
okay.
and then.
Wasting money.
I mean, really?
Yes, yes.
You know?
Yeah, you have to strike the chord right.
You
with
have
them.
to. You have to. And that's why it's so important to know one another's love languages. It is vitally important. I think if you know that is one of the things that's going to rekindle the flame.
Flame, yeah, the love
You know,
languages.
the love languages.
And,
if you know
yeah.
what your partner's love
And
language.
it works like that with the negative as well. If you know, you can improve your relationship. But if you ignore, you can actually damage your
Yeah, you
relationship.
can. Yeah.
Like I know people with words of affirmation. If you speak against them, it can hurt them very badly.
Yeah.
And they take long to recover from that. So getting to know is both ways, in the good
Absolutely
way or
so.
neglect.
Yes.
If you neglect to do that, or you neglect to act in their love language, can be quite devastating.
Yeah, it can. So yeah, because we are talking on marriage and how to keep the flame burning in the marriage, the love flame burning in the marriage. So yeah, when I look back, over the years and with you guys, you will be able to say. So there's the first thing is that look.
Yeah.
Right.
The first chemistry.
The first chemistry.
Yeah.
The first chemistry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that spark that happens just there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, how did you know that this is the partner? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. How did you know that this is the one?
This is the spark.
Yeah.
You know, that just happened there.
Yeah.
Because there's a spark that first happens. There's a chemistry, a romantic chemistry, if I may put it that way. And sometimes the chemistry goes, after then it goes to dating, you get to know one another and things like that. So what is that actual thing that made you know for sure this is it?
This is you.
This is for me.
My one happened strangely. I knew my husband before I loved my husband, or before I was attracted to him. And so I think it was maybe over time, but there was a day where I think we had a moment and my heart started beating, and like I think my top was doing this. It felt like. And I had pins and needles, and I thought, what manner of man is this?
Right.
No, but I think it was just a genuine connection, and I think I did have a very strong a moment that made me feel like I think I want to be with you forever. It was a very strong moment, I think, and so you kind of do. And then I think in any relationship has that moment, because that's kind of where you vibe.
Yeah.
But then there's also the moment where you consider living without them, and then that's also a tell. I think, okay, being with someone, you can live with someone, but can you live without them?
Yes.
And that's also a sign. It's like, okay, I don't actually want to live without you, and that can be a sign that you're the one for me. But that's, I think, the initial stuff. That's the stuff that the fairy tales are made out of and the butterflies are made out of.
But that is mostly the indication that there's a deeper connection here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah.
That you know what? I
There's a
think
sign.
I must give it a go.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
There's enough for me to try with you.
Yeah. So now you watch him, and every time when you see him, it's like that bounce.
Yeah.
Within your
and you act
body.
silly also. You act silly.
Yeah. So
yeah, and you do silly things, and I think that's a tell as
so
well.
for you guys, you can remember how you actually felt that spark, because I mean, for me to remember, it's 37 years. This is baie lank, man. So
there must have been something.
Yeah, you must remember.
Yeah, that one
So,
day.
yeah.
That one day.
So what would you say, Evangelique?
For me, I would say there was a feeling of you just know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain the feeling, but you feel this is who I want to spend my life with.
Yeah.
And for me also, it was a thing that I didn't know that my husband was around in my circle for a while.
Yeah.
But I didn't see him. I
That's
didn't know
true.
he exists. I didn't know those kind of things. And I previously came out of a relationship. And I you block off yourself to,
Other
I'm not
people.
looking for someone, I'm finding myself and all those things,
Okay.
get my confidence back. And, because when you're in a relationship, you sometimes mold yourself according to who you're with.
Yeah.
So in order, when you break up, I think it's so important that you first figure out who you are without the person. So that's what the process I was in when I met my husband.
Okay.
And then apparently we used to sit next to each other in church sometimes
And you
and
just
stuff
wore
like
blinkers
that. And
in.
I did not know.
Yeah.
And I feel like the night I met him was
The night
the
you were
night I
supposed to
was
meet
supposed,
him.
yeah, because then my heart was healed, certain things, and you spend time together, you get to know the person, and that was my moment.
Yeah.
It sounds like movies, but for me, it literally feels like, that when you see the,
Yeah, no, it
the
is.
wind doing the...
It is. I had
Yeah.
a similar experience, and it is amazing how you can go through and be in a common place with people and just never see them or never pay attention to them or just never be mindful of them until it's like almost without sounding like universalism. It's like the universe sends you a signal
Yeah.
or opens up
Yeah.
or aligns the
Yeah.
times or so I think that does happen. It does happen that you meet people in different walks, different times of life, and then you kind of connect at the right times. And I think that's part of the magic, or
Yeah.
part of the spark.
So we're talking about the flame, right? That is starting the flame. It's with a spark. So that is the indication that, you know what, here's a romantic chemistry happening right here.
Yeah.
And then it goes over, right, to the first touch. It goes over to different things. So I just wanna sketch or put onto the stage how the flame starts.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it starts with the spark. You see the man, and you actually know that something happened within me now. There's a little bit of a bounce within inside of me, and sometimes you don't understand. And I remember because I was so deeply spiritual, I used to say, "Oh, no way." The blood of Jesus. So that is how it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't really know. You are just so focused on God and everything else that you feel that this is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I actually met someone like that. They struggled to have a kiss with their. And this was a teen person, not a teen, like maybe 19. She struggled to physically kiss somebody because she felt that she was sinning against God. So that's interesting.
And you see, that is how it is inherent. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So that is how the flame starts. But I want to talk about that first touch when this is now the man that actually gives you the chills, you know what I'm saying?
Butterflies,
the butterflies within you. And now it's the first touch, right? That is how the flame starts.
Ignites, yeah.
Right. So what was your first touch? Can you remember the day? Can you remember whatever?
That is a while now. That is a while. I don't think there was. I think there was, for me, there were a series of moments that kind of gave me the confirmation that this is the person that I want to be with. And there were things that maybe touched my heart, like something that was impressionable. There were things that touched my spirit. There was something that we connected on. And there were things that... physically that was appealing to me, I think. So I think that it was just tiny pieces of confirmation all the time, and that eventually allowed you to have the first meaningful moment. And so that's what I recall about my connection to my significant other. It was those little points that were meaningful to me, and that allowed me to have a flame, an ignition.
Okay. And yours?
When you say touch, you just mean like heart touch.
Or physical.
No, physical touch. Physical touch.
I'm actually very good with dates, right? So I can tell you on what day I met my husband. I can tell you on what day we had our first kiss. I can tell you all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So for me, like in terms of when we started actually dating, for me, like when it comes to the heart touches, it was our first date was actually a feeding scheme. So
wow.
yeah. So for me on that side, it became like I was looking for somebody who's not just thinking about themselves
Yeah.
and wants to help the next generation and certain things like that.
Yeah.
So when I was included in a feeding scheme as our first date, not knowing that, okay, this is actually a date, we said we're going somewhere, but now you're overdressed for a feeding scheme kind of a thing, that touched like my heart. And also the fact that permission was asked before we started dating.
Yeah.
So I liked the old school
Yeah,
vibe of
that
the
is important.
sticking to
Yeah.
formalities that, for me, I'm very classical when it comes to that part
Yeah.
of things. So that's what also touched my heart, the fact that you respected me and respected my parents to go and ask, we want to date, let's do this thing, kind of went out of his way with certain things, surprised me in Namibia, stuff like that. And then with the first physical touch, it was a scary experience for me because, like I said, I came out of a relationship, I've got to know myself, and you start thinking, can I do this again?
Yeah.
Will I be able to, how
Yeah,
do you go
yeah.
into this and how do you go into that? And it was on the 7th of December.
Ja, je
2014.
ken nogals.
Yeah, I know all my dates. I even get a reminder every year on my calendar.
Yeah, I also have that. It was the 25th of March for me.
Is
funny
it?
enough. Yeah.
I try to celebrate those moments, which is also how I keep the flame.
Yeah.
I have those dates and I actually plan an actual date.
Maybe it's a quality time person thing, because I do the same thing. It's like days like that, they tend to be important because you build a repertoire of your relationship around them. Like I actually celebrate the day that my husband proposed to me more than I do the day that I got married, because it was the start of something. So I remember those dates. That was the 9th of June. So you do that, and you kind of hold them sacred because they mean something to you. And I think that helps with also going back and thinking about how you felt on that day, and because that helps keeping the flame alive. If you constantly
Yeah, but you are going now far, Bob. We are trying to get the start of the
start,
flame,
yes,
right?
the flame.
the start of the flame.
This is the start
Okay,
of the
Pastor
flame.
Joan,
So
it
then
was
you
nice to
get-
have that big first kiss. It's the butterflies, it's the
man.
crazy, it's
It was
right,
the-
and
it
then you
was
go
I
over-
love you.
yes, and who's
Yeah.
gonna say it first? And
Yes,
so
yes.
it is that is a big deal. It is a
Yeah.
big deal in a relationship, because it kind of. You can be disappointed in that moment, or you can be confirmed in that moment. It's like, it was everything that I wanted it
What
to
do you
be.
say? What do you
Yes.
say about the impression stage? You want to impress one another.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So
You're so
that-
self-conscious about so many things, Am I kissing right? Is this
Exactly.
what I do with my hands?
So now you wanna impress him.
Yeah.
So there's that where you don't want to eat crisp in front of him. When you're with him, when you go for
Definitely
for
not a pie.
lunch or whatever, you don't
Yeah.
want to eat a pie because it's gonna mess all over the
ribs.
show. You don't want to have what is this ribs.
You're eating
When you
salad
go-
when you know you don't like lettuce.
you understand. So you're actually in the impression stage,
Yeah.
because there's a flame, there's a romantic flame that is ignited within you, right?
Yeah.
So then you go over to the courtship stage,
Yeah.
where you actually now date. You go into the dating scene, and
Yeah.
you it's only the two of you,
And you don't ever get off your phone. You just kind of stay on there.
Yes. And with us, it was letters. There was no cell phones. We had to write letters. My husband studied in Cape Town at Savio Hostel, and that's when he did photolithography. And we had to actually send letters to one another. And I
And wait.
remember,
And you had
we
to
I was
wait
about
for
to
it.
say, how long do you wait for your
You do.
reply?
And it was
you wait,
and it's
yes, you
beautiful.
wait. It was so nice
when my
because
mom- when my
they were
mom was-
different. They were
Yeah.
different writing pads.
Yeah.
The scented ones and the nice ones. It was,
And you guys had this really cute way of folding your letters.
Yes,
afterwards.
we
And they
had
used to
our-
sign
we-
out.
yes,
I read my parents, in case you're wondering
yes.
how I know that.
Yes.
Yeah, and
My husband still have a letter that I wrote him.
I know my parents kept theirs as well, and it's really beautiful. You know what I like about that time? It was very thoughtful.
Yeah, it was.
The
You had
effort that
to,
was put
yeah,
into it.
you had to stop and you had to take time. You had to go and buy the paper. You had to
Yes,
spray your cologne
yes,
on it. You had
yes.
to air it. You know, you had to sit down and you had to think, and then you had to go to the post office, buy a stamp, and send it, and
Right.
wait.
You couldn't just say, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very quality experience, and it helped build a very good foundation in people's relationships. Because now sending a message can be so compulsive and so reactionary. It's not thoughtful at all. You can send a message instantly. It's convenient, but when did you take time to contemplate the thoughts that you wanted to share with your
Yes.
beloved other? So it was a rare thing, I think, a rare privilege to communicate with your special person. And you guys had a way of interacting in person as well. Like you had to be
Yes.
chaperoned. That was a big deal.
Yes.
You know, you couldn't just be with a.
I remember you telling us stories about if someone goes on a date, a brother or sister
Yeah,
needs to go with.
must be someone big must be with us. So we used to, when my husband used to be in Porch, when he comes back home from Cape Town, then he must now let me know that, okay, I'm going to come through this weekend or this Saturday or that Saturday. And then we used to know, that, okay, he's coming, and our date or place of dating, we used to go to the Carlton Center, and my sister always used to go with us.
Yeah.
So we couldn't be alone.
For too
How do you
long.
communicate?
You had a sense of aloneness, but you could hold hands and you could walk and you could talk, but that was it.
Yeah, but our parents never allowed us actually to be alone with someone. I remember even when we had young couples in our church.
Yeah.
Really, they were all married, They were married with children.
Yeah.
But when we go on camps, then someone big must go with.
Yeah.
As in,
What else can you do
as in an elder in the
as
church.
an elder in the church?
True.
Must go with, because that was this, I don't know what it was. It was a mindset of
there's
religion,
no-
I think
Yeah.
it is.
It was also to protect. I think the parents tried to protect the girls as much as they could.
Yeah, but if you are married already,
Oh, married
and you
already.
have
Oh,
children
you're married.
already, you have children already, but
No, I
there's
don't- I don't-
always
I don't
someone
understand that
there.
one.
There's always someone with you.
That's called a
but-
nuisance.
Yeah, it's true, very true. But things like that, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying. But there was a flame that when I get that letter, and then my husband used to be one up,
Yeah.
He used to always send the flowers to my workplace,
Yeah.
and everybody knew on a Friday. When that flowers come in, everybody say, Joan,
Your
it's your
flowers are
flowers, because we had an
here."
open plan office,
Yeah.
so everybody knew. And a certain time on a Friday, you would phone,
Yeah.
and the phone was at the supervisor's desk. Yesterday. So now you must now go there and
take your
speak
call,
to him.
yeah.
And he
In
used to
front of
phone
the
from a
supervisor.
ticky box, right?
Yeah.
So that used to be the times. And yes, the folding was so nice, because there were different foldings of the letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lady S said yesterday she used to put lipstick on, and then she used to kiss on
Yeah.
it. on
Yes.
the letter,
Yeah.
and send it off. So those were our days,
Yeah, it was.
and it was nice days. I must be honest with you, but with yours, it was that. That was our impression. I used to buy the scented thingy,
Notebook.
yes, writing pads and stuff like that. So that was the courtship. The courtship one was, we go out on a date, we speak, we whatever. With us, someone had to be with you guys.
I think maybe my parents helped set up boundaries in terms of, like, when you were younger. My parents felt it wasn't healthy for you to date just you and one person. It kind of, you could be with friends. They found that was more healthier.
Right.
So in other words, going to movies, you wouldn't go to movies with you and your boyfriend. You would go to movies with your boyfriend's friends and your girlfriends and your
it's
parents.
a group date.
Yeah, and your parents would kind of take you there and then drop you off at a certain time and pick you up at a certain time. And they wanted to know the basic things.
Yeah.
That was, I think, dating in younger years. And then I think as we went on, the house permission became important because my parents wanted to bring them into a culture of order and respect. And so you had to ask
we
for
had
house
to
permission.
meet you, and with house permission, I think it's a beautiful thing because you get to meet the
family.
guy who's actually taking your daughter out.
Yeah.
You meet the family of the guy. So I think it's a good thing.
And then there were some basic protocols like my parents wouldn't allow anyone to come to the house and not come in the house. So in other
don't
words,
fetch me outside. Don't just
No, I don't like that.
yeah, you could never do that. And even if it was a friend, my parents would expect them to come in and they would expect them to greet and interact briefly if we were just going. And so those were, I think, the boundaries that they helped set.
Yes.
And then if you had a friend or a love interest visiting, they were permitted in the lounge area, in the kitchen area. That was it.
The room.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to the bathroom. So there were areas that were out of bounds for appropriateness, and then there were areas that were encouraged. And there were, lastly, time frames. It was like if you going to visit, it's time to leave at a certain time and don't come,
there were boundaries, yes.
Yeah. So they just set those things in place, but I think it helps to manage a relationship.
Absolutely.
And
so.
also groom the younger person in helping just understand value and respect. So those were the younger, earlier days. But as you got older, you pushed the boundaries. I think you pushed the envelope, and you stayed out a bit late. My mother always used to get upset about staying out too late. And so you had curfews that you had to respect. And the thing is that you realize, and I think later on in life, it drops for you, is like that was building value and it was building principle in your relationship. It wasn't about being restrictive. It was about building a certain culture that would be in your life. It would be, that's how you would operate. So I think that was it for me.
Yeah, and up till there, you still have that flame, right? The flame is like ignited and it's burning. It's like
because
really because there's something happening.
And these things, they seem like restrictions, but then that just makes you want to spend more time with the person.
Yes, the restrictions kind of give that feeling of I want to see you. When can I see you?
Yeah,
and I feel like
I can't wait to see
people
you.
that have that where there's no restrictions, you find that they give up on the relationship quickly because there's no excitement anymore.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah, that's true because. Okay, let me not go in that. That's for another day. That came up to my mind. And then that excitement that's building and building and building. So now you announce your engagement and the guy proposed. Where did your husband propose? Did you engage before marriage or did you just get married?
No, he proposed. He was actually very romantic. It was actually very lovely to think about it. It was a surprise, and so he had hired a limousine, and
wow,
he had like about 24 of my family members.
Impress.
Yeah, and so he had this limousine pick me up, and then the limousine would stop, and 2 people would get out, and 2 people would get in, and the limousine stopped 12 times, and he gave them 12 reasons. He gave me 12 reasons. Not to you gave me 12 reasons to marry him, and so
load shedding.
It was quite a big deal. I think we just got a load shedding notice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the time at? 10
o'clock.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the things that happens. I know with Evangelic, where did Ashley take you?
Times there, my husband is his romantic side is not the biggest. Forte.
It's not his fan.
He struggles a bit with trying to be romantic, and then afterwards he's like kind of disappointed. You're saying that wasn't romantic, but we actually were at, was it Monte Casino?
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela Square. We were at Nelson Mandela Square, and they have the fountain in front of Nelson Mandela. We were actually there, and we went out on a date. And then he said, "Come, let's take a picture." And he asked some random girls to take the picture, but I didn't know he told them, "Please record," and it's not a picture. So the whole time I'm standing for a picture, he got down on his knees and he proposed. And the whole square was like, "Yeah!" I'm like, "Babe, what if I had to say no?"
He had a spontaneous crowd there with him.
Yes, he had a spontaneous crowd, and that's what happened, what our proposal looked like.
Yeah, my husband proposed in Cape Town.
Okay, did you know?
In the gardens. No, I didn't know. We went for something. I can't remember really what it was that
Did you go
we
alone?
went to. No. No, how on earth can we go alone? But he actually then proposed. We were actually with his mum and him.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally, eventually.
And then he said, "Let's just take a walk quickly." And we took a walk. And then he proposed. And he said, "I want to marry you." And that was in Cape Town.
Yeah.
What is that called? Botanical Gardens or what?
The
Gardens
garden
was
route.
that? No,
On the
not on the
garden
garden route. In Cape Town per se. I can't remember. You will know the name. But anyway, that is still the excitement, right?
Yeah.
That is within you. And then it comes to the marriage scene. On that day of your marriage,
Yeah.
right? So now it's the preparation that's going on, and you are busy, and that makes you feel so excited because you go for fittings for your dress, and
Yeah.
he does the
We
the
need to take a
tucks
moment,
and,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that excitement's building. Right? So I don't know about you, when you had to go for your fittings, for your dress and things like that, and preparing your wedding. How did it feel for you?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely fun. I enjoyed it, and I think it's a good moment for moms and daughters and families, because it's really a family affair.
Yeah, it's
But I
true.
want to take a moment and just go back. Your mom posted some pictures on Facebook of her wedding day.
Yeah.
And my goodness, that wedding party was like 100 people.
There was 1,000 people at the wedding.
Oh, really? 1,000 people at the wedding?
It was 1,000 people
That
at our
is-
wedding, and it was at the City Hall.
Well, you
My
can't do that
goodness.
today because now you pay per head.
Yes, definitely. And your cake. I mean, you had like a 70th cake.
Yeah, that was Uncle Morris Delport.
Did you have like a
He
committee
he
planning
had
your
a-
wedding?
That was just family. It was family.
It's the way they did it back
And you
in the
see,
day.
those years, the guy's parents comes and they
Yes.
discuss with the girl's parents,
Yeah,
and
it's like it's a community
50-50.
event.
Yes, it's a,
You maybe got to
yeah.
choose your colors.
Absolutely so. Well, you can see that, eh? Because pink is in it.
Definitely, and it's no, it was very beautiful to see, and you guys had the cars and the train and everything. It was very beautiful. My wedding, I thought I was an easy bride, but every bride probably thinks that. But it was fun to plan. We did it in a couple of weeks. We were engaged for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we got married, and we planned it like in the last 4 months of our engagement. So we set a date and we figured we'll just figure it out, and it was quite easy. And my mom made the cake, and my family came together, and our families came together, and I think it was quite a big.
Did you get married at a wedding venue?
The wedding venue? Yes, I had horses as well. So.
Yeah, true.
So it was
Yeah, that was an in thing, right?
Yeah, and but it was a very beautiful day, and it was a lot of planning, and yes, it was fun. It was, I think, maybe the first time that you get to experience your differences.
Yes.
As a couple. I think that can happen, and then you had the guest list. You know, who comes and who doesn't, and like you say, you can't have 1,000 people anymore. And,
Yeah.
we had actually got a large wedding for our time, which was about 280 people. So and now you have to figure out who gets to come and who doesn't. And because it's a family wedding, you have to allow for people that you don't necessarily know.
Yes, absolutely.
Because your mom needs people there and your dad needs
Yes,
people
yes,
there.
yes, yes, yes.
So it was a fun experience, I think. And yourself, how did you like it?
I had the most fun with my wedding. My bridesmaids gave me the time of my life. So we also had the moments with mom and dad, because I was going to wear my mom's wedding dress.
Okay.
But they were like, no, you're the only daughter. You have your own dress and that things. And it was nice to design my own dress. I'm a very DIY person. So everything that happened with my wedding, I had to use it again. So my wedding dress was a top and a skirt. So later on, I still wear the top up until today. And
Yeah,
like,
I think
did
I
you
seen
cut your
it.
wedding dress? I'm like, no, it was actually a top and a skirt.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. And when people ask, can they use my dress? I say no, because I actually still use it. But in terms of the planning for the wedding, my bridesmaids, that's a big thing also. If your bridesmaids play a role in your actual wedding, because they can make or break your experience. And the groomsmen and the bridesmaids, they really made it a good time for us. So they kept that spark of excitement alive as well. My bridesmaids would sleep over. We would make the invitations.
So you had like a wedding season.
Yeah.
It wasn't like just the day.
No.
Because we also got our house before the actual marriage. So when we bought our house, with everybody who is involved in the wedding would sleep there that night.
Yeah.
And we all cutting, making invitations, making centerpieces. So it went on for like 6 months of we making, and I think that was the nice part of it.
Yeah,
that,
it is.
They kept the excitement there.
Yeah, there was something
myself
to do,
and
and it
my
was bonding.
husband, because then the bridesmaids and the groomsmen played their role very well. So that kept the wedding, like, because sometimes a lot of people go under the stress and then they're not so excited for the wedding day.
Yeah.
So I feel like my bridesmaids played a huge role to stay excited until the actual day happened.
So you chose well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is a thing. I've also seen situations where bridesmaids also maybe didn't know how to be bridesmaids, and it did affect the bride. So I'm glad that you had that experience. I also had a good set of people around me, which was really. I didn't realize actually they do make the experience.
They make a difference,
They do make the
well, we
experience
had
more
an
valuable.
entourage. We had everybody, the whole family.
You did have an entourage.
Was in the wedding, and that one wanted to be in, and that one wanted
Yes,
to
how
be
did you
in,
manage that?
and
Because I mean, with 1,000 people, you also had to think which child has
10%
preference.
to be in the actual wedding.
And that is actually sometimes it can also amount to a lot of stress. Due to the fact that this auntie's child feels now left out, and that uncle's child,
and because it's such an event, you have to consider everybody's feelings.
Yes. And also we used to call them guest girls and boys. That's why we had not big or older bridesmaids, but we had
what we call flower girls.
What you call flower girls.
And
we
maybe
had
champagne girls and boys.
But we had the champagne girls and boys we called guest girls and boys afterwards because of the champagne that they didn't want to be in. So they were the big ones,
Silly me.
So we only had the two big people who actually signed the register, and then we had the bigger girls now and boys. That's where the ones you see in pink, they were the guest girls and boys. So they actually
would serve and help
would help on that specific day and do whatever you want them to do. You know what I'm saying?
Like an
so
usher.
I was about to say, then I will not say yes, please.
No, but it was a community event, and I think with and with big families it was a big deal because you were the youngest.
I'm the youngest daughter,
So that's also a big deal.
Yeah.
Your status in the family, does affect your wedding, because the first one had to go ahead, but you were someone's little sister and the youngest, so I think it did also contribute to.
Yeah, I think so. But my sister had the same. A lot of guest girls and boys. I think that was the in thing that those years.
Yeah.
Because her wedding was also like a big wedding. And that was it. It's only my elder sister
Yeah.
and Minnie who didn't have that big weddings, but myself and Bernice we had big
You
weddings.
had your events.
We had our
I think
events.
the difference
So
is also in terms of now. It's easier to keep a smaller wedding because there's no longer dressmakers, it's
Yeah,
fashion designers.
yeah.
So if I ask you to be a bridesmaid, you need to consider this person needs to like fork out 6,000 rand
Yeah.
to be in the wedding because makeup now is 2,000 rand. The dresses is nothing cheaper than 3,000 rand.
Yeah, you have to
and
give
that
people
plays
notice.
a big role also in your bridal party because
Absolutely
back
so.
then there was dressmakers that's willing to make so many dresses for this and so many. And that's also why I DIY'd now the bridesmaids' dresses. They
Yeah.
paid like 500 rand for their material with the
Yeah.
making of it because it had to be something that was worn again.
That was your requirement.
Wear it again, yeah.
So
Yeah,
fast
but
forward
that
to the
was
wedding
it.
itself.
So
and
so to the wedding itself was a different thing because whew, there were so many people. But on that day, I don't really know much about the day because that's on my wedding day.
Yeah.
Due to the fact there were so many people,
Yeah.
right? If they say to me, "Don't smile," then I smile. If they say, "Stand here,"
You gotta
that
stand
was
there.
it, guys. I just
So you
I
smiled
just
and
did
posed
whatever
and
they
ate
said I
all the
must
way.
do.
Smile and wave.
And you know what? My mother was in charge of my wedding. And,
yes, the moms
and my
did that.
aunties,
The moms
yeah.
did that in that generation.
Yeah.
My mother said the same thing. She said my mother took care of everything.
Yeah, but she did. My mother took care of my wedding. She was in charge. So I couldn't say much, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Coming to the guest list even.
Yeah.
She wants to invite all her cousins, all her whole family. That's why it was 1,000 people.
And it's funny because she had so many other weddings before. One would think your mom's appetite would have simmered down by the time it got to
She
you.
maybe thought this is her last daughter.
Okay. Yes, there's
You know,
that reasoning as well.
going out, thinking about it now.
Yeah, I'm going out
you
with a
know.
bang.
So that I think that is what she
Yeah,
actually
she
did.
figured.
Yeah, and that was it.
And then you got the wedding night now. Did your mom have
So-
that conversation
true,
with
true,
you
true.
before?
That was
No.
what I thought about the
No,
whole wedding
no,
day.
no,
Is
no.
it?
That's
The wedding
that's
night.
the actual thing.
Okay.
That a person need to talk about because
Yeah.
a
It's not
lot
brought
of
up enough.
it's not due to the fact that people are scared to talk about it. You know, if it had not been for a friend of my husband,
Yeah.
he was a pastor at the Nazarene Church.
Yeah.
And he actually was my husband's friend
The
in
birds and the
Porch.
bees talk.
So he actually helped him.
Yeah.
And then he had a book that he actually showed him, you know, this is what you first ask
I'm
and
picturing something
whatever.
else.
Yeah, but there is a nice book that's out. My marriage counselor actually called it like Christian porn. She said you need to read this. He said you need to read this because you don't get prepared enough.
No, you don't get prepared. To be quite honest, that's why, I don't know. I can't talk about my wedding night, guys, honestly
I
speaking.
cried. I cried. I thought I'm doing something wrong. Why is this not working? You know, movies make it the expectation
so-
of movies.
yeah.
Glamorous.
That's where my expectation went to. You
But
know,
we have a mother and a daughter here. What happened? Yeah.
no,
was
only
there
the
no?
next morning when I went to say I don't know what happened. Then she's like, I knew I was supposed to talk to you. I'm like,
That's so
too late
crazy.
now.
Yeah, you see.
Okay,
you
so
see,
how did you come back
sometimes-
from that? How did you come back from that? Did you feel nervous for her but didn't want to
Yeah,
say anything?
yeah.
Okay.
I did. I actually did. But you know what? I thought, there again, I thought, no, maybe my husband spoke to her husband.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, because
maybe
it's
someone
maybe-
said something to
Maybe
someone.
someone said something. I mean,
But
there were-
nobody actually
We got a
did that.
gift from somebody that said, don't put this gift away in the car. It's for tonight. And when we opened it, it was like, you know.
A naughty box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were like, I didn't know what to do. What is it? What, you know, now you feel like you must go Google first. And it was just
Yeah,
a
you see, you
scary
guys still have
experience.
Google, so it's easy for you. But with me, I was so stupid. I didn't know a thing. I didn't know what, huh? No, man, Lord. So it was a funny evening.
Yes,
to be
it
quite
is
honest.
it's a funny evening.
I
and
was
it's
Looking
so-
back, it's funny.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it's embarrassing.
It is.
There's some awkwardness and there's some maybe misalignment of expectations, and and then that's that, and then things get better.
Yeah, it gets better as time goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is only for non-experienced people. So you find girls that has experienced since what age? They know exactly what to do at.
But it can also
wedding
cause another
night.
complication.
Because
Yeah,
now how many
definitely.
people were there? And
Yeah, that
Definitely.
can be questionable as well.
So yeah, that is what it is.
It's complicated either way.
Yeah. So that is the actual thing. So that actually is still the flame burning, right? That's the flame. But now you see, for the marriage, you actually a lot of people go on honeymoon, right? And because of this fairy tale wedding, you go into debt. Am I right?
Yeah, you do.
So you actually you want to have this, you want to have that, you want to have A, B, and C. You don't think about the debt that you put yourself into and the strain that it will have afterwards, when reality kicks in. So that's why it is important for us to have these conversations, and especially now. We had a community wedding, so our parents cooked.
Yeah.
You know what
Auntie
I'm saying?
brought that.
That
Cousin
auntie
brought that.
yes. So there were no debt. So we had a house before,
Yeah.
because I moved to Porch. So I had a house we had a house of our own.
Yeah.
And it was furnished because that was our first priority.
Yeah.
We have to get a bedroom suite, we have to get a fridge, and thank God for my mother-in-law. She bought a few things for us,
Yeah, the parents were good because they helped you collect your
excellent.
trousseau,
Yes.
and you would now collect your stuff and
we
prepare
collected
yourself.
the trousseau
Yeah.
because we had kists.
Yes.
Right, every daughter had a kist.
Yeah, and when your mother would put things away for you.
Yes,
I'm
the
that old
sheets
school
and
one.
I'm
that.
also-
I
I
like
love
that
that.
classical title. My 21st also gifts was either gift
Yeah.
card to game, to at home, Mr.
Yeah.
Price home, whatever. And up until today, I'm using my microwave from when I was
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
I'm using my kettle, my bedding. Everything is things I built up throughout the years. But by the time we got married, the only thing we needed to buy was a fridge.
Yeah, no, the same. Yeah, I think the preparation is important. Is like
It's very important.
People should use the engagement period as preparing for
Yes,
marriage, and
yes.
having the conversations about money is important
And
because
even so, before the engagement.
I would
because
say
you know.
with your 21st, you're gonna get married.
You dream of a marriage.
You dream of having a good marriage. So buy yourself a kist.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a kist, get a thingy. They sell now at China Mall. They sell that looks like a bench.
okay, yeah,
The modern keys.
Yeah. So you can actually
sponge-
buy.
Ottoman. It's
You
called the
can
Ottoman.
instead
Yeah, I
of
see
buying
them. They're quite
clothes and
nice.
clothes and shoes and
Yeah,
and
prepare and put
jewelry
away for
and
your
jewelry.
future.
Buy sheets. Buy pillowcases. Buy these things and put it away because it's gonna help you in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you come, I tell you, I still use of things I got as gifts for my wedding.
Yeah, your blender.
The everything. I have a lot of things that I still use today.
yeah.
So I don't go buy. So you look after your stuff. You know
You
what
do,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
And the thing with that kind of generation is they also used to buy quality things.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you gave a proper gift, or you did something proper.
Yes.
Instead of just something that was quick and easy.
I
and
got a
thoughtless.
lot of pudding bowl sets. those sets with a big bowl and
Yeah,
then the
there's some
6
items that you can see when the parents come from a certain era, like a type of glass or a type
Yeah.
of plate. You
Yeah,
can see.
yeah.
I know this.
Yeah.
This comes from 19 whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, so that does
But
happen.
I do think that's very important because we're speaking about the death after marriage and everything.
Yeah.
I find that not to speak down on people that's getting married now, but because of social media, it has become such a big thing to have that, the backdrop wall with the balloons and the arches,
decor,
the
yeah.
decor and that I find that marriages doesn't have to, weddings doesn't have to be as expensive
Yes,
as we
absolutely.
make them to be. Because if you just take what the venue offers and work around it, because I'm telling you, nobody remembers what decor
Yeah,
was
true,
on your
very
table
true.
after you get married.
Yeah.
People will be like, what did we eat? I remember we had fun, but what was your main course now again? Stuff like that. People don't remember those kind of things, and we think that's what people are looking at. People just want to know they had fun and they want to know they ate a good meal,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. But what I find now is that people are so concentrated on how it looks on social media that they go way above their means. And then when it comes to the lifestyle after the wedding, that's where they realize, I didn't know. That's when the talk comes in. How did my parents do this?
Yeah.
It's because we don't plan ahead in terms of what happens after the wedding. I always say, what happens to the house? Okay, yes, you bought a house, you have your deposit, but how are you paying every month? The groceries, the you get a
Some-
child
it's things
immediately
you have
after
to
Financial
marriage.
preparation
The
is
financial
important.
exactly, and people take it to that specific day. So I find that the newer generation is willing to have the big wedding, but is comfortable to move in with their parents afterwards in terms of
Or in
we
the back room
saving
or something.
those kind of things. But then when you hear the amount of money they spent on a wedding, you kind of
Doesn't make
question,
sense.
what was your plans after the wedding day?
What were you thinking?
Yeah, because if you look
Yeah.
at not only weddings, baby showers and
Yeah,
everything,
it's
but we're
true.
speaking wedding now,
It's
so
true.
we don't think further than that, and I find that's one big thing that kills the flame in a marriage.
Absolutely. That's
when
that's
the
where we
fights-
start. This is the start of the thing that it starts with the prep. How many guests? So now his parents want A, B, and C. So if you split it and you say, okay, 500, 500, you say, okay, let's go for today, 100, 100,
Yeah.
or 50, 50,
Yeah.
right? Because that's
now
the
it's
majority.
25, 25.
But I mean now.
Yeah, and you find that people
it's
have managed to get the weddings down to real intimate settings.
Because of COVID,
Yeah, but
helped them a lot.
now you have a family, right? You already have are 8 siblings.
Yeah.
You are 8. Say you're 10 in a family. You
Yeah.
have
No, look,
you
there's
have
no
brothers and
options for you.
sisters.
But just
You
here's what it
understand?
is.
And they have their families. They
Yeah.
have children. And
Yeah, no, it is what it
becomes
is.
complicated
Yeah.
because if I don't invite that one's going to take. So already now the stress starts.
Yeah, no,
Right?
it is.
So that's where the flame starts,
bridezilla.
the builds up
Yeah.
to where the flame actually starts, getting a little bit.
It's a pity we didn't get into the relationship of marriage and how to build up one another throughout the years. Our time is.
Our time is far fetched. So yeah, but I'm just talking about that kind of things. But we're gonna carry on with this because I wanna actually want to speak next week if God's spare. I want to speak on the different hindrances that kills the flame.
Yeah. That's
What
it.
is the thing, and then we're gonna
Things to look
carry
out
on.
for.
Yeah, we're gonna carry on with this thing because we have to keep the flame burning, guys. In your marriage
To get to 37 years.
absolutely to get far above 37 years.
Now we're not even making it to 3 years.
So now there's every disagreement you just use the D word. Me, I will just get out of this house and I will just divorce you. That's how cheap marriage became.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's for now, and then if I'm fed up about you, I'll leave. How do you take it? How do you take the vows that you do in on the podium?
Until death do us part.
You know what I'm saying? You say it. You say it with your own mouth.
Yeah.
Nobody put you into this situation. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But now you're taking it so cheap that it is something that is just for now. And if I'm fed up, I leave him.
Well, marriage has 2 people in it.
Yeah. And it takes 2 to tango.
It takes 2. So, you find that you do always need 2. And if one person is just working or the other person isn't, you have to, it's like managing thresholds. Like if you have if you're married to someone with a substance abuse problem, is it something that you can travail through?
Yeah.
And are there times when divorce is right? So it's so difficult. It really is so difficult.
Yeah,
Because
so
there are people-
you guys must just stay tuned on a Thursday morning. And Evangelica and them is also doing a marriage topic, and that's going to come from
Tomorrow,
a
yeah,
younger
and next week,
generation,
divorce.
right? So,
Yeah,
so
she actually included the what is your topic?
So last week was love. This week is marriage, and next week is divorce.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Love, marriage, divorce. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
so on our show next week, we're going to speak on what actually dims the flame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's things we already
burns the
started
build
on
up.
it, you know. Yeah. So tune in next week. Thank you so much for everybody that who tuned in. We only have a minute quickly. The lights are going off. We want to greet you quickly, and we want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you so much, Winnie Johnson, as a Jean Moulton. And we really appreciate you guys
Rochelle
tuning
Maloney,
in.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. Your last quickly to say bye-bye, because we are 1 minute. We are having load shedding, so we can't actually go over our time that much.
Well, you heard it from Joan. We're going to be talking about this topic and how to keep the flame alive. If you have some ideas, I think a community of ideas is always helpful.
Yeah.
What do you do to keep your flame alive? Share them. Stay tuned and connect with us next week. And check out Evangelique's show.
Tomorrow at 12.
It proves to be quite saucy.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show today. It was really good, an experience. Please do join in next week again as we go into hearing how to keep the flame alive, because I think that is something that's difficult. As much as it's difficult because it's two people. It's easy if you're one person trying to keep the flame alive. So
Yeah.
it will be nice to hear how to keep the flame alive from both sides so that it's a unity thing.
Start a fire.
Start a fire, yes, be two matchsticks.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to hearing about that as well.
Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. God loves you best. Enjoy your day further and enjoy the weekend. See you next week. Love you. Mwah.
As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream.